Cherish each morning with gratitude, for another day is a gift many never receive. As you wake to the gentle hum of life around you, birds chirping, sunlight peeking through curtains, take a moment to breathe deeply and acknowledge the miracle of simply being alive. This practice of gratitude transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, reminding us that happiness often hides in simplicity: a warm bed, a loving family, a roof over our heads. Gratitude anchors you in contentment rather than always chasing the next big thing. Learn that failure is not the opposite of success, but an essential part of it. Every setback you face is a lesson wrapped in disguise. When you fall short of a goal, don't bury your disappointment. Instead, unearth the wisdom hidden within. Failure shines a light on weaknesses, gaps in understanding, and areas for growth. Embrace it, study it, and let it propel you forward with renewed clarity. Recognize that relationships are the true currency of life. Careers may come and go, wealth may dwindle or accumulate, but the people who stand by you in times of joy and sorrow are your most priceless treasures. Invest time and energy into cultivating genuine connections, those marked by empathy, trust, and mutual respect. In the end, when you look back, it will be the shared laughter, the heartfelt conversations, and the comforting presence of loved ones that matter most. Understand that time is a finite resource, slipping away in every tick of the clock. Once a moment is gone, you cannot reclaim it. Let this reality guide your choices. Dedicate time to what you care about, nurturing your passions, strengthening bonds with family and friends, and exploring the world with curiosity. Avoid squandering time on bitterness, envy, or trivial pursuits that don't align with your deepest values. Embrace vulnerability as a sign of courage, not weakness. Too often, we hide our true selves, our fears, mistakes, or insecurities to appear strong. Yet, genuine strength lies in being honest about who you are, asking for help when needed, and showing your heart even if it means risking disappointment. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you deepen connections and inspire others to do the same. Cultivate the habit of lifelong learning, for the world is ever-changing and so must you. Whether through books, new skills, or conversations with those who challenge your assumptions, commit to expanding your mind. Learning keeps your spirit young, sharpens your adaptability, and opens doors to opportunities you've never imagined. There is so much more to discover beyond the limits you currently perceive. Choose kindness over being right. There will be moments when you feel compelled to prove a point, to assert your viewpoint, to win an argument. But pause and ask yourself, is this battle worth bruising someone's feelings? Often, the relationship is more important than the righteousness of your stance. Opt for empathy, understanding, and compassion. Let go of the need to be right. Instead, seek common ground and mutual respect. Accept that some things are beyond your control and learn to let them go. You cannot dictate the actions of others, the twists of fate, or the passing of time. When you struggle against these immutable facts, you drain your energy and invite frustration. Instead, focus on what you can influence: your attitude, your efforts, and your choices. Surrendering what you cannot change frees you to live more peacefully and purposefully. Find beauty in simplicity and resist the pressure to overcomplicate life. The pursuit of more possessions, more achievements, more recognition, often leads to a sense of emptiness rather than fulfillment. Simplify, declutter your living space, streamline your commitments, and focus on what truly nourishes your spirit. In simplicity, you discover clarity, freedom, and a deeper appreciation for the present moment. Prioritize your health as the foundation for all you wish to accomplish. It's easy to take a strong body and a clear mind for granted, especially when you're young. But as years pass, ailments can arise swiftly. Eat nourishing foods, move your body regularly, and honor the need for rest and recovery. Mental health is just as crucial. Practice mindfulness, seek support when you struggle, and never hesitate to talk about your emotions. A healthy vessel allows your spirit to flourish. Recognize that comparison is a thief of joy. In our hyper-connected world, it's tempting to size yourself up against others' highlight reels. Perfect vacations, career milestones, social media accolades. But you never see the behind-the-scenes struggles. Measure your progress against your own growth. Celebrate your wins, learn from your losses, and cultivate self-compassion. Your journey is uniquely yours. Comparisons only derail you from your path. Invest in experiences rather than material possessions. You might derive fleeting pleasure from a new gadget or designer item, but experiences, travel, learning a musical instrument, deepening friendships, create lasting memories and enrich your soul. These experiences mold your character, broaden your perspective, and build stories you'll cherish long after the novelty of material goods fades. Practice forgiveness, both for others and yourself. Holding on to grudges punishes you far more than anyone else. When you forgive, you release bitterness and open space for healing. Likewise, forgive yourself for past mistakes. Dwelling on regrets can paralyze you. Acknowledge your faults. Make amends when you can. Learn from your missteps, and then let go. Forgiveness is the key to inner freedom. Keep a sense of humor, especially during tough times. Laughter is a remarkable healer, capable of lightening the heaviest burdens. Don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. Embrace the absurdities of life. A well-timed joke or a genuine chuckle can defuse tension, build bonds, and remind you that even in adversity, there's room for joy. Humor is not frivolity. It's resilience in disguise. Listen more than you speak, for every person has a story waiting to be heard. In conversations, we often rush to voice our opinions, offer solutions, or share anecdotes. Instead, cultivate the art of deep listening. Lean in, maintain eye contact, and let people finish without interruption. By listening, you gain empathy, learn perspectives beyond your own, and foster genuine connections. Listening is a gift you give to others and to yourself. Recognize that wealth without generosity is hollow. Accumulating money or possessions might provide comfort and security, but hoarding them isolates you. Share your resources, your time, your money, your talents with those in need. Generosity isn't defined by the size of your gift, but by the willingness to give. When you give freely, you enrich the lives of others and nurture a profound sense of purpose and fulfillment within yourself. Accept that some relationships will end, and that's okay. People grow in different directions. The bonds you once cherished might fray over time. Rather than clinging to outdated connections or forcing reconciliation, allow relationships to evolve naturally. Celebrate the good times you shared, learn from the disagreements, and let go with gratitude rather than resentment. Doing so makes space for new, more authentic relationships to enter your life. Keep a journal to capture your thoughts, dreams, and growth. Writing by hand invites clarity and self-awareness. Over years, your journal becomes a mirror reflecting your evolution, your struggles, triumphs, fears, and hopes. When you reread old entries, you'll see patterns that once eluded you, reminders of how far you've come, and insights that can inform your future choices. Write with honesty, and you'll find your inner compass. Remember that pride can be a silent saboteur. It masks vulnerabilities, preventing you from asking for help or admitting mistakes. When you find yourself reluctant to lower your guard, ask, what am I protecting? Lowering your pride doesn't diminish your worth. It showcases your humanity. Embrace humility and acknowledge that seeking guidance, admitting uncertainty, and learning from others are courageous acts. Cultivate gratitude for simple acts of kindness. When someone holds a door open, offers a genuine compliment, or checks in on you during a difficult day, its impact is profound. Don't let these gestures pass unnoticed. A quick thank you, a heartfelt smile, or a small reciprocation can ripple kindness outward. By appreciating and acknowledging kindness, you contribute to a culture of compassion and reciprocity. Acknowledge that perfection is a myth. Strive for excellence instead. You might picture an ideal version of yourself, flawless in every endeavor. Yet chasing perfection leads to persistent dissatisfaction because perfection is unattainable. Instead, focus on doing your best, learning continuously, and embracing imperfections as opportunities for authenticity. Excellence is a journey, not a destination. Invest in your passions, even if they seem impractical. When you were young, you might have shelved dreams, painting landscapes, writing poetry, or launching a side business because they didn't promise immediate financial gain. Later in life, regrets surface. What if I had pursued that passion? It's never too late to explore what ignites your spirit. Carve out time, whether an hour a week or a month-long sabbatical, to reconnect with what makes you feel alive. Passion fuels purpose. Surround yourself with people who lift you higher. Toxic relationships drain your energy, cast shadows over your achievements, and stifle your growth. Seek companions who support your dreams, encourage your vulnerabilities, and celebrate your successes without envy. Equally, be that kind of person for others. When you curate a circle rooted in respect and encouragement, collective empowerment flourishes. Accept that you can't control other people's perceptions of you. No matter how hard you strive to craft a specific image through your attire, social media presence, or accomplishments, others will interpret you through their own lenses shaped by their experiences and biases. Trying to dictate what they think is a futile endeavor that breeds anxiety. Instead, focus on acting with integrity, aligning your actions with your values, and letting go of the need for universal approval. Embrace creativity in all forms. Even if you don't see yourself as creative. You might think creativity is reserved for artists, writers, or musicians, but permeates every profession and aspect of life. Cooking a meal, solving a work challenge, or designing your living space all involve creative thinking. When you embrace your innate creativity, you unlock new ways to address problems, express yourself, and find joy in everyday tasks. Learn that discipline breeds freedom. It may seem paradoxical. Imposing rules, routines, and self-control feels restrictive. Yet, when you train your mind and body, waking early, exercising regularly, maintaining healthy boundaries, or budgeting wisely, you gain freedom. You're no longer at the mercy of fleeting whims or external pressures. Discipline builds a stable foundation from which you can pursue your dreams with confidence and clarity. Cherish moments of silence because they allow you to hear your true self. In the hustle of life, work meetings, social media notifications, traffic noise, your inner voice often gets drowned out. Create pockets of silence. Wake before dawn for a few minutes of solitary reflection. Take a silent walk without music, or simply close your eyes and breathe deeply. In these quiet moments, you reconnect with your values, desires, and intuition, anchoring yourself in authenticity. Accept that sadness and joy can coexist. Many believe that sorrow and happiness are mutually exclusive. Either you're jubilant or you're depressed. Yet life often blends emotions, especially when you mourn a loss, but also celebrate the memories shared. Don't chase away sadness prematurely. Allow it to breathe alongside gratitude for what remains. This integration of emotions deepens your capacity for empathy, compassion, and resilience. Recognize that legacy is not what you accumulate, but what you impart. We often define legacy in terms of wealth passed down or material inheritances. But the true legacy lies in the values you instill, the kindness you show, and the positive impact you make on others' lives. When you mentor someone, volunteer your time, or simply share a story that inspires hope, you plant seeds that flourish long after you're gone. Understand that adaptability is a key to thriving in uncertain times. When you resist change, whether technological shifts, societal transformations, or personal transitions, you risk becoming obsolete. Instead, cultivate a mindset of flexibility. Learn new skills, remain open to different viewpoints, and adjust your expectations. Adaptability doesn't mean abandoning your core values. It means applying them creatively in evolving contexts. Embrace gratitude for the lessons that hardships teach you. Painful experiences, betrayal, illness, financial crises, often carry hidden gifts, deeper empathy, greater resourcefulness, or renewed appreciation for life's fragility. When you look back on your darkest hours, you may realize that these trials sharpened your character and revealed strengths you didn't know you had. Gratitude for hardship is not masochism. It's recognizing that adversity, while unwelcome, can catalyze profound growth. Learn that true wealth lies in having just enough and being grateful. Accumulating possessions beyond your needs often breeds dissatisfaction because wants multiply as wealth grows. Instead, identify what truly sustains your well-being: a comfortable home, nourishing food, meaningful work, and loving relationships. Seek contentment in sufficiency rather than constantly craving more. This shift eases anxiety, reduces stress, and fosters generosity. Let yourself feel the full range of emotions without judgment. Society often pressures us to be upbeat, stoic, or perpetually optimistic. But emotions, jealousy, anger, disappointment, fear, are signals guiding you toward unmet needs or unaddressed issues. When you deny or suppress them, they fester beneath the surface, emerging in unhealthy ways. Instead, practice emotional literacy. Name what you feel, explore its roots, and express it constructively, whether through journaling, therapy, or heartfelt conversation. Recognize that age diversity is a strength, not a barrier. In workplaces, communities, and families, generations often segregate. Young people with their peers, elders with theirs, missing out on mutual enrichment. When you embrace intergenerational relationships, you gain fresh perspectives from youth and deeper context from seniors. Sharing stories, collaborating on projects, or simply listening across age divides builds empathy, reduces stereotypes, and fosters innovation. Accept that boundaries are acts of self-love, not selfishness. You might hesitate to set limits at work, in friendships, or in family dynamics, fearing you'll be perceived as cold or uncaring. But when you overextend yourself, resentment builds and relationships suffer. Communicate your needs clearly. I need time to recharge, or I can't commit to that project right now. Healthy boundaries model self-respect and encourage others to treat you with consideration. Keep a beginner's mind, even in fields where you're experienced. Mastery often brings confidence, but overconfidence can blind you to new methods, emerging research, or better approaches. Approach each task as an opportunity to learn something fresh. Ask questions you think you already know the answers to. Invite feedback from people younger or less experienced than you. This humility keeps your skills relevant and your mind expansive. Understand that self-care is not a luxury, but a responsibility. When you're juggling work, family, community commitments, and personal goals, it's easy to neglect your own well-being. But you cannot pour from an empty cup. Schedule moments for rest, reflection, hobbies, or simple pleasures. When you tend to your physical, emotional, and mental needs, you become more resilient, compassionate, and effective in serving those around you. Embrace the reality that life seldom unfolds as planned. You might graduate with high hopes for a certain career, only to find yourself in a different field. You might envision a family timeline that shifts unexpectedly. These deviations aren't failures. They're life's way of redirecting you to new paths. When plans unravel, stay open to fresh possibilities. Often, the detours lead you to opportunities far richer than your original blueprint. Let gratitude for small victories sustain you. When goals span months or years, completing a degree, building a business, restoring health, it's easy to overlook incremental progress. Yet celebrating tiny wins, finishing a chapter of a book, learning a new chord on the guitar, or sending that important email, fuels motivation and preserves momentum. Acknowledging small steps builds confidence and reminds you that grand achievements start with modest beginnings. Recognize that authentic happiness arises from living in alignment with your values. You might chase societal markers of success, status, wealth, popularity, But if these run counter to your principles, inner conflict ensues. Identify your core values: integrity, compassion, creativity, or adventure, and design your life around them. When your actions resonate with your beliefs, you experience a deep sense of fulfillment that external accolades cannot replicate. Accept that regret is part of the human experience, but don't let it define you. Everyone looks back on choices they wish they'd handled differently. Words spoken in haste, opportunities passed up, relationships neglected. Regret can either trap you in remorse or propel you toward positive change. Instead of ruminating on what you did, focus on what you can do now. Learn from regrets, make amends where possible, and use the wisdom gleaned to guide future decisions. Recognize that love is an action, not just a feeling. Affection, attraction, and infatuation might ignite initial connections, but sustaining a deep bond requires intentional acts. Listening without judgment, supporting each other's growth, showing up consistently in good times and bad. When you express love through kindness, empathy, and sacrifice, relationships deepen and endure beyond transient emotions. Cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Scarcity mentality convinces you that resources, money, opportunities, love are limited, fostering competition and fear. When you adopt abundance, you believe there's enough for everyone, which breeds generosity, collaboration, and creativity. Celebrate others' successes as proof that the pie can expand, rather than as threats to your share. Learn that vulnerability fosters trust and connection. When you risk exposing your fears, admitting mistakes, or asking for help, you grant others permission to do the same. This mutual openness builds relationships rooted in authenticity rather than superficial pleasantries. Vulnerability might feel uncomfortable initially, but it paves the way for emotional intimacy and mutual support. Embrace forgiveness as a gift you give yourself. Holding on to grudges against those who wronged you binds you to the past and poisons your present. You're not condoning harmful actions by forgiving. You're releasing the hold they have over your mind and heart. Letting go of resentment clears space for compassion, peace, and new beginnings. Accept that aging is not a curse, but a privilege. Society often portrays youth as the pinnacle of value, but each passing year gives you deeper self-knowledge, a more refined sense of priorities, and an appreciation for life's fleeting moments. Lines on your face, gray hairs, and slower steps are markers of experiences lived. Honor and embrace them. Aging gracefully is a testament to resilience, wisdom, and authenticity. Understand that words carry weight far beyond the moment they're spoken. A kind phrase, "I believe in you," "You matter to me," "Thank you for being here," can uplift someone in ways you might never see. Conversely, careless remarks, tongue lashings in anger, harsh criticisms, or dismissive comments leave scars that linger. Choose your words with intention, especially when emotions run high. Speak truth with kindness, and you'll build trust rather than cause regret. Recognize that peace of mind is an inside job. You cannot outsource inner tranquility to a job, spouse, or material possession. Even when your circumstances are chaotic, financial struggles, family conflicts, health scares, you can cultivate a calm center through mindfulness meditation, prayer, or simple breathing exercises. When you learn to steady your mind, external storms lose their power to unmoor you. Embrace the art of saying no without guilt. Early in life, you might have ridden the wave of entitlement, saying yes to every request, fearing confrontation, or craving approval. Over time, you discover that boundaries are healthy, necessary, and liberating. Saying no to extra work when you're exhausted, to social events when you need rest, or to favors that compromise your values is an act of self-respect and leads to more balanced relationships. Reframe setbacks as redirections, not punishments. Life's detours often appear as obstacles: a job loss, a failed relationship, a health crisis. Yet, in retrospect, many of these challenges steered you toward growth you wouldn't have otherwise pursued. When the path veers unexpectedly, ask, what opportunity hides within this challenge? This reframing transforms suffering into a stepping stone, guiding you to a more meaningful destination. Cherish the wisdom of listening to your gut. Intuition often speaks in subtle whispers before the mind formulates coherent arguments. When something feels off, an uneasy sense around a decision or person, pause and honor that feeling. Over decades, you'll encounter proof that your gut often discerns patterns and truths your conscious mind can't yet piece together. Learning to trust that inner compass saves you from many unnecessary mistakes. Accept that grief is not a linear process, but a tidal wave, rising and falling in unpredictable rhythms. Losing loved ones, parents, siblings, friends, reshapes the contours of your heart. You might feel strong one day, only to be overwhelmed by tears the next. There's no timetable for sorrow. Allow yourself to feel the full spectrum of emotions: anger, sadness, guilt, longing, without judgment. In time, the waves will recede, letting you recall your loved one with both tears and gratitude for the memories shared. Foster curiosity, even when answers seem far away. As a child, you asked countless why questions. Somewhere along the way, you might have been told to stop. But curiosity is the seed of growth and innovation. When you approach life with wonder about other cultures, fields of knowledge, or human behavior, you remain open to possibilities. Maintain a beginner's mind. There is always more to learn. Practice patience as a form of self-discipline. In an age of instant gratification, waiting feels unbearable. Yet, truly valuable things, mastery of a skill, deep friendships, personal transformation, require time and sustained effort. Patience trains you to endure discomfort, persevere through challenges, and respect natural rhythms. When you learn to wait without anxiety, you embody a calm strength that others envy. Let go of the urge to control outcomes. Instead, influence what you can and release the rest. You might meticulously plan every detail: career trajectory, family milestones, retirement goals. But life has its own design. When an unforeseen event disrupts your blueprint, acknowledge your disappointment, adapt your plan, and move forward. Resilience lies in bending with life's winds, not in standing rigid against them. Know that authenticity invites fulfillment, while pretense leads to emptiness. When you try to conform to expectations, societal norms, family pressures, or peer influences, you might achieve external approval but feel hollow inside. Dare to be yourself. Voice your opinions, pursue your quirks, and live by your values rather than others' demands. Authenticity attracts people who resonate with your true self and repels those who cannot accept you as you are. Recognize that wealth of wisdom often accompanies limited material resources. Elders reflecting on simpler times often remark, "We didn't have much, but we had each other." When money was scarce, families gathered around the table. Neighbors supported neighbors, and community thrived in shared hardship. Don't underestimate the richness of close-knit bonds, shared meals, or collective celebrations. You might find that happiness can flourish without opulence. Nurture a spirit of service by helping those less fortunate. As you accumulate experience and resources, extend a helping hand. Mentor a younger colleague, volunteer at a local shelter, or donate to causes that resonate with your values. Service fosters a sense of interconnectedness and purpose beyond personal gain. The act of giving back reveals the inherent dignity in every human being and reminds you of the blessings you may overlook in your daily life. Cultivate the habit of looking people in the eyes. In an era dominated by screens and distractions, genuine eye contact has become rare, and yet it communicates empathy, presence, and respect. When you engage someone, meet their gaze fully. In that moment, you affirm their humanity, deepen the conversation, and strengthen trust. Eye contact is a bridge between souls. Accept that your childhood wounds influence your adult behaviors until you consciously address them. Many older adults reflect on patterns, tantrums disguised as anger, avoidance of intimacy, or relentless pursuit of approval, tracing them back to early experiences. If unexamined, these wounds shape your choices and jeopardize relationships. Consider therapy, journaling, or honest conversations with trusted friends to identify and heal these scars. Healing the past frees you to live more authentically in the present. Understand that age brings selective ignorance in the best sense of the word. As you grow older, you learn to ignore trivial annoyances. The neighbor's barking dog, gossip at the water cooler, minor inconveniences. You prioritize your peace of mind over petty irritations. This selective ignorance is not about avoiding responsibility. It's about choosing battles worth fighting and refusing to waste energy on matters that don't contribute to your well-being. Recognize that rest is not a luxury, but a necessity. Busy schedules often prize productivity over rest, leading to burnout, health issues, and frayed relationships. Learn to view rest as an integral part of your growth. Imagine your body and mind as a battery that needs recharging. Schedule downtime as you would a meeting or deadline. Take naps, indulge in leisurely walks, read for pleasure, or sit in silence. Resting rejuvenates creativity, sharpens focus, and preserves your long-term vitality. Embrace the inevitability of change, for life's only constant is transformation. Careers shift, loved ones depart, technologies evolve. Clinging to how things were breeds suffering. When you anticipate change as a natural facet of existence, you cultivate adaptability. Face new chapters with openness rather than resistance. By dancing with life's ebb and flow, you discover resilience and learn to find excitement in the unknown. Learn that humility opens doors you never knew existed. When you present yourself as infallible, boasting achievements, pivoting conversations toward your successes, you may win admiration, but you close off genuine connections and miss opportunities to learn from others. Humility acknowledges that everyone has something valuable to teach. When you admit that you don't know, people are eager to share their insights. Humility transforms relationships into collaborative explorations rather than one-sided displays. Keep a sense of wonder for the world, even when routine tries to cloud your curiosity. As decades pass, it's easy to slip into autopilot. Wake up, work, come home, sleep. But wonder arises when you pause to observe a sunset's colors, marvel at the patterns of a spider's web, or ponder the vastness of the night sky. Cultivating wonder nurtures awe, humility, and gratitude for being a small part of something infinitely grand. Recognize that sometimes the best way to solve a problem is to let it sit for a while. When you face a challenging decision, career crossroads, relationship dilemmas, creative blocks, rushing to a conclusion can lead to regrets. Give yourself permission to step back, take a walk, meditate, or sleep on it. Your subconscious mind often processes information behind the scenes. When you return to the issue after a break, clarity often emerges, and what seemed insurmountable now appears manageable.